We'll do it old school. We'll do it this way. Okay, it's 1:30 here on CBS News Chicago. We do have a tornado watch that remains in effect until 7 p.m. No active warnings, but we believe that may change within the next 90 minutes. So as we get closer to the 3 o'clock hour, we may not just have severe thunderstorm warnings, but the potential for even some tornado warnings. There's some active warnings down here towards the south of our area that we'll show you here in a second. But City of Chicago, all of Cook County under this tornado watch until 7 p.m. It includes all of northwest Indiana and then out here towards the far western suburbs, places like Kendall County, Grundy County, DuPage County, and Kane County included in this tornado watch. So the radar's starting to become a little bit more active. Reason why we're concerned today is for late March, we have temperatures that are at times mid to even upper 70s. We have dew points in the 60s. So that means our atmosphere is volatile. It is buoyant. We have a lot of instability in our atmosphere, and we got some thunderstorms coming in here out of the west, moving out of DeKalb County into Kane County, and will be making its way into McHenry County. It's thunder and lightning. There could be some small hail with that activity, but we're just looking no rotation. It's these thunderstorms down here towards the south that we got to pay a real close attention to. To the south of Champaign, that's well outside of our viewing area. It's the first tornado warning of the day, and we'll have to watch that one as that moves in from the north, moves off towards the north-northeast. It's moving around 60 miles per hour. So with a storm track, that would put the potential for some rotating thunderstorms in parts of Kankakee County, also Newton and Jasper County as we get closer to 3 p.m. So it's again, these thunderstorms we really got to watch closely as they track off towards the northeast, 55 to 60 miles per hour for the potential for some tornadic activity. And it's these thunderstorms that are moving up here towards the north. Again, this is going to be DeKalb County and McHenry County. Those are moving off towards the northeast. It's just kind of some noisy thunderstorms at the moment, but we're going to be keeping an eye on them either way. There's closer in view with this particular thunderstorm that is moving up towards the north of I-88. And if you're in Crystal Lake, if you're in McHenry, Algonquin, we got these thunderstorms moving a bit closer to you here over the next 20 minutes. And this thunderstorm looks like starting to produce some hail not too far from northern sections of King County. So we'll want to keep a close eye on that. I'm going to step out so I can get a closer look at this thunderstorm on one of our displays here. And we're just going to do a look at velocity scan on it as well, just because there are a little bit of areas here on the radar display and maybe some hooking going on. And no strong areas of rotation. That's certainly good news. So Campton Hills, the worst of this thunderstorm is going to pass up here towards the north of you. But if you're in Elgin and South Elgin and Algonquin, want to watch this thunderstorm as it could be producing some hail right now, the size of pennies. And those thunderstorms are going to be moving off towards the northeast, 55 to even 60 miles per hour. So that would put it in Elgin at 142, Algonquin at 143, and then as we head towards Gurnee at around 207. And then it's these thunderstorms down here towards the south. These are some mean storms moving into now southern areas of Grundy County. And while we're here, we'll turn on our velocity scan, see if we have any big rotation in our neck of the woods. We don't. That's good news. But these are gusty winds, thunder and lightning. And as they move into this little bit more favorable environment for severe weather, we'll keep a closer eye on them. So let's do kind of a storm track like that. And we'll notice that thunderstorms are going to start to increase in Kankakee, coming in out of the west at around 204. Chicago Heights, we could have some thunderstorms at 225, and then Gary at 241. This would be the earliest arrival time. The forward speed is anywhere from 50 to 60 miles per hour. That's a storm track based on thunderstorms moving off towards the east-northeast around 60 miles per hour. You see the spin in the atmosphere in Iowa. That is the upper level low, and out ahead of it are these little bands of motion upward in the atmosphere, and that's where these thunderstorms are getting going. There's a tornado warning right now outside of our area to the south of Champaign. We'll want to watch that thunderstorm as it tracks off towards the northeast. That would put that thunderstorm in northwest Indiana within the hour. So Jasper, Newton County, we're watching that one closely for you. And then you see additional showers developing from Quincy and then back off towards the west, and that activity could get going a little bit as well. So our hour-by-hour forecast, here's how it looks. We've got scattered opportunities of showers and thunderstorms coming in out of the west. That's a look at the latest projection, which I think is doing a really nice job showing some intense thunderstorms in Chicago, anywhere between about 2:30 and 3:30. And embedded in this line of thunderstorms, the potential for damaging winds 60 plus miles per hour. There are some indications that thunderstorms down here towards the south could produce 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And anytime this particular model starts to show these really bright colors, that is some hail-producing thunderstorms. So we'll have to watch out for some large hail embedded in this activity as well. But notice how quickly this activity moves out of the area. By the time we head towards 5 o'clock, we could have some lingering thunderstorms, mainly in northwest Indiana around LaPorte County. But I think that severe weather threat will come to an end in a big way here in Chicago as we get a little bit closer to 5 o'clock. Tornado watch remains in effect, though, until 7 p.m. We'll keep an eye on that. Full coverage continues at the top of the hour here on CBS News Chicago. And there's Marie. Hi there, I'm Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon as we come on the air with a new severe thunderstorm warning, the first warning of the day, and this is going to be for Lake County and also at least a sliver extreme northwestern sections of Cook County. This thunderstorm, the main concern with it, not too far from McHenry and also Algonquin, is going to be winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Could be some small hail, but it looks like mainly a wind threat. So we'll zoom in here and we'll give you the current warning statistics with this new severe thunderstorm warning that we're keeping an eye on. Right on top of Algonquin, the potential for some hail the size of pennies, if not a little bit larger, but embedded in this activity would be winds potentially as high as 60 miles per hour. So again, this includes just a sliver of extreme northwestern sections of Cook County, but a good slice of Lake County here in Illinois. Waukegan, you are included, and this is moving up towards the northeast at around 55 miles per hour. So we'll go to our Doppler radar here and we'll do a storm track with this particular thunderstorm, and it's going to be out over the lake pretty soon. It's moving pretty quick, but let's draw this for you with this forward motion pretty fast. May even have to back up the radar a little bit. So let me draw that again for you and we'll get this zoomed out and we'll show you that storm track. But again, this is going to be for mainly Lake County, and the main concern with this particular thunderstorm is going to be wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. It's a fast mover. Like a lot of the thunderstorms that we get today, that's going to be the trend. So again, moving up towards the northeast like so, we'll put it right at 55. That's going to be moving into McHenry just before the top of the hour at 1:58. Mundelein at 2:08, Waukegan at 2:19. So it's these communities, Zion included, Kenosha included, that wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour will be possible, even some small hail possible with this thunderstorm, and also cloud ground lightning. So that's one thunderstorm we're keeping an eye on. That's the new warning that's popped up. We also have additional thunderstorms developing over northern sections of Cook County and into Will County as well. So we'll do a loop here. These are non-severe, but these new little pop-ups, see that new little pop-up thunderstorm? Not too far from places like Edgewater and up here towards Highland Park, to the south of Highland Park. We'll zoom in a second. That's a new pop-up thunderstorm. This is an environment where we have temperatures in the 70s and very humid conditions. And here in the loop at CBS, we've got some peaks of sunshine like we've had over the last couple of hours. So the atmosphere increasingly unstable in this part of the area. Also, we have thunderstorms coming in out of the southwest that we're going to be keeping an eye on to the south of Morris and moving into Will County. We'll investigate those in a second. So let's come back and look at this one thunderstorm, and we'll work this from north to south. This is the only severe warning that we have on the map at the moment. And what we'll do here is we're going to look at the winds embedded in this thunderstorm, and right in here, moving away from Algonquin and sliding into Lake County, headed into Mundelein soon, and again, Waukegan as we get a little bit closer to 2:15. Some embedded winds here of up to 60 miles per hour. We'll take a look at this, see if there's any kind of rotation. Nothing big on the rotation side, so we'll come back and look at the radar. And embedded in this activity, there could be hail now. You see these little black areas. Maybe some hail the size of quarters. We'll keep an eye on that. For the most part, the hail core is pretty small, and that will be making its way quickly off towards the northeast at around 55 miles per hour. We'll zoom in here and we'll outline a few more communities here so you'll know what's going on. This is headed into Wakanda right now, Lake Barrington, right along Illinois 12 and 176. So Wakanda, get ready. Gusty winds headed your direction, as high as 60 mile per hour gusts possible, and also some hail for you. And we can kind of go downstream just to show you a few other communities that will be impacted by this severe thunderstorm. Libertyville, you're not included in the official polygon, but it's going to be coming close to you. Round Lake Beach, Third Lake, we've got you in the crosshairs of this thunderstorm along with Warren, crossing I-94 here within about 10 minutes. Wadsworth headed towards your direction, and then eventually up here towards Zion, Winthrop Harbor, and Waukegan. We've got this thunderstorm headed to you here within the next 20 minutes, about 2:15 to about 2:20, moving into the North Shore of Lake County, and it'll eventually make its way out of the area and we'll be done with it. So let's come back with a big view here. So we do want to look at this new thunderstorm developing in northern sections of Cook County. And these thunderstorms, they're producing lightning, they're producing gusty winds, but they're non-severe right now. And this is really just a downpour at the moment to the south of Northfield and back out towards the west of Evanston, sliding up towards the north-northeast like so. And I'm just keeping an eye on what the Weather Service is looking at. And this one is going to be impacting places like Glencoe soon as well. So we'll zoom in here just a bit. There's Newt here, there's Glencoe up here, there's Wilmette, and that's moving a little bit closer to you. But again, it is non-severe, and that's certainly good news. And most likely it will stay non-severe because this is going to be moving quickly out over the lake. Now, it's these thunderstorms out here towards the southwestern viewing area that we want to keep a close eye on. These thunderstorms could be rotating. We do have a tornado watch across a good chunk of the area, including all of Cook County and the city of Chicago, until 7 p.m. And the environment down here towards the south of Chicago, a little bit more conducive for both severe weather and also for spin-up tornadoes. So we want to watch that closely. So this one right now along I-55 in places like Grundy County and about to move into the southwest corner of Will County. This thunderstorm doesn't look all that bad. Heavy rainfall, there could be some small hail, but really only about pea-sized hail. And we'll take a look at the latest velocity scan, see if anything catches our eye. So there's no rotation with this thunderstorm, and that's good news. And we'll continue to come down here towards the south and look at some of these thunderstorms south of our area, because it's these thunderstorms south of Kankakee. They could be severe by the time they move into Kankakee County, by the time they move into Newton and also Jasper County. But this thunderstorm is just a wind producer, maybe some small hail, but it's not as strong as it was just a few minutes ago, and that's certainly good news, and no tight rotation on the Doppler radar either. So we'll keep an eye on that for you. Okay, here's the wide perspective. It's an upper level low spinning over Iowa, an upper level low on the nose of it. That's where we have the best upward motion in the atmosphere. That's why we have these showers and thunderstorms that are increasing right now. And actually, let's take a look at one thing here. Let me find where we can take a look at, we'll take a look at live cameras in a second, but I'm curious to see what the temperature profile across the area is right now. Because the temperatures have been so warm for this time of the year. Look at this, midway now it's 78, it's 77 in Gary. Average highs for this time of the year should still be in the 50s. So we're talking about now near record levels in terms of temperatures, and the sun is still out and the temperatures are still warming. The winds are strong coming in out of the south. And then you see the cooler air moving into Waukegan where it's 45 right now. That's that lake influence and the cooler air out here towards the far west. So this upper level low will eventually drag a front across the area, and that front will be a source for lift in the atmosphere and allow for additional showers and thunderstorms to get going. But these are just impressive values. So we are concerned for the threat of severe weather, especially where you have temperatures mid to upper 70s like we do here in Cook County and the city of Chicago, low 70s right now in Valparaiso. So all of this area is very, very warm and unstable. And we can actually load a different product here. We'll go into analysis mode. And this is just, we're kind of now forecasting right now. So this is going to show all the different plots that we look at, all the different areas that we watch for weather stations. And the white number is the current temperature, and then the green number here is the dew point. So dew points have come down, it looks like, at least a little bit. They're still quite high in the around 60 to 63 degrees, which that's pretty humid for this time of the year, really any time of the year here in Northwest Indiana. And then the overlay is showing instability in the atmosphere, and it's low to moderate instability right now, nothing that's super, super crazy. So that's just something we'll keep an eye on over the next couple of hours. You can see the stable air, though, out here towards the west already. So DeKalb and Ottawa, we're in good shape there. And then out towards the west from there, the severe weather threat is over. So it's really the area highlighted in yellow under the greatest risk for severe weather for the next few hours. This is where the tornado watch is in effect until 7 p.m. This will likely get canceled for our area well before 7 o'clock. I'll show you some new high-res data showing a lot of this activity out of the area by 5 o'clock. So it's really the window now through about 5:30 that we really got to pay close attention. But either way, at the moment, a tornado watch in effect for all of Cook County, includes all of the city of Chicago, DuPage County, Kane County, Kendall, Grundy County, all of Will County and Kankakee County, you're included, and then all of Northwest Indiana included as well. And you saw from the instability and the temperatures and the dew points, the most humid and hottest air kind of right in this part of the area, Chicago into Northwest Indiana, stretching down to Joliet and also in Kankakee. So we're watching that closely. All right, let me show you this high-res forecast model. And this is just updated, so this is good. And it's showing at the top of the hour right now, trying to get some of these showers and thunderstorms closer to DuPage County and also Cook County, keeping an eye on that severe thunderstorm that's moving to Lake County. So this is doing actually a really decent job, initializing really decently on what's happening. And then as we head towards about 3 o'clock, notice how it really wants to ramp up the shower and thunderstorm action to DuPage County, Cook County, southward into Will and Kankakee County. So I think things are going to get a little bit more on the busy side within the hour. And then beyond 3 o'clock, this moves into Northwest Indiana. And then notice by 5 o'clock, this particular model saying, all right, temperatures are cooling, the winds are shifting, some drier air, more stable air is moving in, and then our severe weather threat will come to an end. So we're seeing 5 to 5:30. I think we're going to be in good shape over most of the area. It's just between now and then we could have some really rough weather moving on in. So if you're out and about, if you're here in the loop, We got our street side studio. Hi guys, they're stopping by. Be careful, we got strong storms coming in soon, okay? They're keeping an eye on it. And then as we head towards this evening, some much cooler air moves in with 40s in the overnight and eventually in the 30s as we head towards early tomorrow morning. The temperatures overnight, not as cold as what we were thinking last week. Looks like we'll be above freezing, so it looks to be a cold rain. There could be a few sleet pellets and maybe a few snowflakes as we sleep here tonight. And then we'll be mainly dry as we head towards rush hour tomorrow morning with breezy winds out of the northwest, 30s in the morning and only in the 40s for tomorrow in the afternoon. So that's quite the change from the 70s that we have out there right now. So recapping the reason why we're on the stream, and we're trying to do these updates every top and bottom of the hour. That's why we'll continue this for one more time, just in case folks are checking in right here at 2 o'clock, is we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, primarily for Lake County. This is going to be a wind-producing thunderstorm. Could have wind gusts potentially as high as 60 miles per hour. There's a lot of lightning right now in Lake County. We'll zoom into that one shortly. Let me see this new message coming in from the Weather Service, and they're saying that the storms that are down to the south of us, those thunderstorms are moving a little bit closer to Newton and Jasper County here over the next hour, and they have a severe thunderstorm warning coming soon for those areas. So we'll look at those as well. But notice those thunderstorms starting to increase, especially just to the south of Kankakee and southward from there. So it's this thunderstorm action that's sliding off like this that is going to allow for potentially new warnings to be popping up, including here in northwest Indiana. And ever since we've been on the stream, only about 10 minutes, look how the radar is starting to fill in now with new development in southern sections of Cook County. And it's at Midway, which is right there, with a temperature of 78. These thunderstorms could really erupt in a big way here soon. So we're going to keep an eye on that. We got these thunderstorms moving through Joliet, lightning, downpours, but non-severe at the moment, and then some severe weather south of our area. So let's again do a recap here. Tornado watch in effect until 7 p.m. for the area, including Cook County and the city of Chicago. Once this line, I think, moves away from Chicago, which may happen within the next hour, hour and a half, I think we're going to be in good shape. So new severe thunderstorm warning coming right now. This is when it's going to be down here towards the south. So we'll investigate that one in a moment. Let's start with the first one up here towards the North Shore, Lake County, because this is moving to a populated area. And we'll put this into live mode because notice the latest radar scan. See the black right there? Anytime our radar is pinging off on larger hail, it's going to give us that indication with a color table of black. So there could be now some quarters embedded in this thunderstorm that's going to be crossing I-94 probably within the next 7 to 10 minutes, okay? So this one's headed towards Waukegan, and since we do have this area with some areas of spin, we'll take a look at velocity, see if we see any rotation. We don't, but there's some really strong winds coming into Libertyville right now, and eventually that's going to make its way in Waukegan, Zion, Winthrop Harbor, okay? So this area all under a severe thunderstorm right now. Okay, so we do have new severe thunderstorm warnings down here towards the south. Let's investigate those. This is going to be southern sections of Newton and also Jasper County. These have just been issued. We'll zoom in and notice it's like, hey, there's nothing going on right now, but here it's coming in out of the west. These are those thunderstorms that we started talking about an hour and a half ago, capable of producing wind gusts 60 miles per hour and even some hail crossing I-57 just to the south of the Kankakee County line. We'll take a look at velocity here because it's this area. It has overall a little bit more of an opportunity to potentially see tornadoes here a little later on, and I don't see any strong rotation. And just to be sure, we'll look at one other product, and no, it's just some gusty winds. So these thunderstorms are racing off towards the northeast. At times have been as high as 55 or 60 miles per hour. So these are thunderstorms that are elevated at the moment. We like elevated thunderstorms at least to bring down the tornado threat. When they get rooted closer to the ground, that's when we can really run into some issues, and they start rotating and they can produce tornadoes. But this activity is moving so fast because it is moving off so quickly in the northeast at 75 miles per hour. My goodness. So we'll do a storm track on this back in the weather center now. That way I can have a little bit more control on this Doppler radar. And look at this Doppler radar showing these intense winds that will be coming in to northwest Indiana. So let's do a storm track with these thunderstorms. Again, these are moving so quickly. Gosh, I haven't seen a thunderstorm like this move that quickly in a very, very long time. So we'll actually have to redo this just because our forward speeds today have really changed. And we're looking at the potential for wind gusts with these thunderstorms coming into southern Jasper and southern Newton County as high as 70 miles per hour. That's one thing that we were afraid of today, that some of these thunderstorms impacting the Kankakee River Valley into northwest Indiana could produce winds upwards of 70 miles per hour. These are intense thunderstorms, and that seems to be the case. So let's take this entire line like so, and we have it moving in like this, and moving into places like Kentland at 222, Momence at 216, Wheatfield at 242, but it's really down here towards the south. It's these thunderstorms that are down here towards the south that we really got to watch out. This one that are going to clip at least southern sections of Jasper and Newton County that could be producing wind gusts upwards of 70 miles per hour. If there's any good news, I don't see any kind of tight rotation, so there's not much of a tornado threat right now. Anytime you see the orange, this is the radar detecting winds at least 60 plus miles per hour. And we'll take a look at this product. Gosh, there's some really, really heavy areas of wind moving into Danville. And this is a thunderstorm that will clip, at least in our viewing area, southern Newton and central and southern sections of Jasper County. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's come back a little bit closer to Chicago, and we'll turn on our Doppler radar. And we have some areas that are developing right now in southern areas of Cook County. We've got the Sox playing right now on the south side at Rate Field. And let's just kind of look at the radar for that part of the area. We'll pop up Rate Field so you can see it. And right now, we are in good shape. There you see Rate Field right along the Dan Ryan. It's fine right now, Rate Field, but we got some thunderstorms down to the south of you and more activity coming in out of the west around Downers Grove. And that is producing thunder and lightning. So we may have a delay of game at Rate Field for the Sox here within the next 30 to 45 minutes. So that's something to keep an eye on. Got a thunderstorm down here towards the south. This isn't going to be too far from Dalton and Pullman, moving off towards the east, northeast. And this one could be producing some small hail as well. We want to watch that one as it moves into Pullman and eventually East Chicago here over the next few minutes. That it could be approaching severe weather limits. You see the brighter colors right now on the Doppler radar about to cross I-94 and eventually cross I-90 here in southern Cook County shortly. So that's a thunderstorm to watch. And then the thunderstorm that's in DuPage County, not far from Downers Grove, hail and gusty winds, but we'll do a velocity scan on it, see if there's any rotation, and there's not. That's good news. It's just some heavy rainfall, good amount of lightning. We'll overlay lightning there, and the potential for pea-sized hail with that particular thunderstorm, but at the moment it is non-severe. And then into Joliet, we've got a thunderstorm here. Let's just, while we're here, let's turn on Doppler radar out of Midway, just because that Midway radar is going to give us a different kind of a scan. Yeah, so this is a thunderstorm that's producing downpours. There's some thunder and lightning, but it's non-severe. I'm not seeing any indications of even large hail with this thunderstorm that's over Joliet. Moving into Homer, and eventually we'll be making its way closer to Orland Park and Tinley Park. And then as we go a little bit farther down to the south here in the southwest corner of Will County, it's just rain, some thunder, some lightning. We'll turn on lightning again. New thunderbolt. You may have heard it if you're watching from Wilmington right now near I-55, and there's some small hail embedded in that action, but that is a non-severe thunderstorm. But let's just take a look at velocity while we're here, see what we got. All right, nothing at the moment. There's some little feature here that caught my eye, kind of this little hooking situation kind of right in here that we want to watch. And what we'll do is we'll back up this radar a little bit, see what that is. We'll zoom out a little bit. So this is kind of what we're going to have to do, everybody, is just we take a look at these thunderstorms and we throw every kind of product at it to see what's going to happen. And we'll want to watch that, but there's nothing screaming out tight rotation with that storm. So that's good news. Mary Kay is working the radar today from her weather center, and Mary Kay, let us know if you see any kind of rotation coming in with that particular storm. We'll definitely jump on it. And yeah, we're in good shape there, so that's good. Okay, so right now we do have two areas that are under a severe thunderstorm warning. The first one being Lake County, central and northern sections of Lake County up here towards the north. That thunderstorm capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds and could now be producing 1-inch diameter hail. We'll zoom back into that one in a second. And we're also watching this thunderstorm to the south of Kankakee, moving so quickly like that, off towards the north and northeast at 75 miles per hour. And this thunderstorm that will be impacting at least southern sections of Newton County, central and southern sections of Jasper County, capable of producing winds as high as 70 miles per hour. At the moment, and you just saw us kind of take a look at all the Doppler radars, there are no areas of spin that we are concerned about right now, but we are under a tornado watch. A tornado watch in effect until 7 p.m., which I think will get canceled before then, but the atmosphere is conducive for at least some tornadic activity. Right now, the Doppler radar over Lake County showing a hail core Some areas of hail south of Grays Lake, right along Illinois 83, about to cross Highway 45 right now. This is going to stay mainly to the north of Libertyville, and we'll actually do a loop, last 30-minute loop with this thing, so you can kind of see the motion of it. And it's kind of moving almost due east and northeast, so Weather Service may need to redraw this. They had this box kind of moving more to the northeast. It's moving more eastwardly. And let's take a look at velocity here to see if we have, okay, so we do have some rotation in this thunderstorm. This is going to be rotation near Highway 45. Again, we're in Lake County right now. Highway 45 and between Illinois 137 and Illinois 120, just the south of Grays Lake and Gage Lake, and to the north of Libertyville with this particular thunderstorm. It looks like some intense winds with this thunderstorm as well. But on that last radar scan, it looks like that rotation may have just disappeared. So let's take a look at this. This is one of the products that we're looking at. Okay, we're in good shape there. Let's see what the Weather Service is looking at. All right, no, they don't have anything on this one just yet. So we want to watch that. Anytime these thunderstorms, and I'll show you kind of we'll zoom out and we'll do a loop here. Anytime the motion is northeast, northeast, it's northeast, northeast, and then it takes a little bit more of an easterly turn. That easterly turn usually means that the thunderstorm itself is relying less on upper level winds and getting a little bit more rooted to the ground. And when they get rooted to the ground, they start sucking up moisture, and that means we'll have to watch at least the potential for some rotation that could get closer to the ground. So we want to watch that. Either way, we've got a thunderstorm producing some damaging winds along I-94 right now in the northern sections of Lake County. If you're in Waukegan, we've got this big storm headed your direction. Zion, it's going to make its way right on top of you. But we'll put this back in live mode right now. And there you see the hail, probably under 1 inch diameter. But this is moving into Warren within the next few seconds. And eventually Gurnee here within probably the next 2 to 5 minutes will make its way into Beach Park, Wadsworth, Waukegan, Zion, okay? So this is moving off towards the east at around 55 miles per hour. Let me do a new storm track on this. And again, a 55 mile per hour forward speed with this severe thunderstorm. This is the only severe thunderstorm in the metro. We do have a severe thunderstorm that's moving into southern Jasper, Newton County that we'll look at in a second, but this is the only one that's close to Chicago. So there's a look at the storm track. This is going to be moving into Gurnee at 2:15. It's 2:13 right now. So in the next 2 minutes, Gurnee, get ready. Park City, get ready for the winds, potentially as high as 60 miles per hour, some small hail with this thunderstorm. Waukegan at 2:17, North Chicago at 2:19, North Beach at 2:20. So it's all of these locations here that have a severe thunderstorm moving in. It's moving to the Six Flags Park as we speak with thunder, lightning, gusty winds, and even some small hail. So here you see the latest cloud ground lightning strike. So we'll keep an eye on that. And it looks like there was at least a little bit of rotation with this thunderstorm a minute ago, but it looks all bowed out now. So yeah, it looks like a backward C right in here. And that's just indicative of a straight line wind thunderstorm. So keeping an eye on that one, but we're A-OK at the moment. All right, City of Chicago, downtown. We're dry right now. The clouds are starting to fill in. I'm looking out towards the west at Washington, and it's just bubbling clouds, and there's a lot of people out, so hopefully they know that we've got some severe weather that will be moving in shortly. And right now, the thunderstorm that is at greatest risk for the loop and the rest of the city of Chicago is this one in eastern sections of DuPage County. Will overlay lightning. There's a little bit of lightning with it, but this is a non-severe thunderstorm. It's really just some downpours. Could be some small hail to the south and to the southwest of York, right along the tri-state. Coming into the tri-state right now, but non-severe, and we can do a radar look for you. See how this one's tracking kind of east-northeast, extending all the way a little bit closer to Orland Park, back off towards the west of Orland Park. So that's the one moving into Chicago, but that is non-severe at the moment. This thunderstorm to the south of Joliet has gotten a little bit stronger as it moves closer to Manhattan. This thunderstorm could be producing hail, now approaching 1 inch. This is not a severe thunderstorm right now, but it is getting a bit stronger. We'll look at velocity scan with it, and nothing jumping out in terms of really big time winds. It looks mainly to be a hail threat, and at this point below severe weather limits hail threat. But this is a strong thunderstorm. We're about to cross Highway 52 around Manhattan. We'll be clipping places like New Lenox and Frankfurt here over the next 10 to 20 minutes. And this is the one that we want to watch also if you're in Tinley Park, Chicago Heights, and eventually the south side of Chicago. We'll keep an eye on that one. Let's just do one more check on velocity just to see. And that one's A-OK at the moment. Okay, so back here down towards the south, let's go to Kankakee County. We'll do a loop on this one. Kankakee, we've had some downpours move through over the last couple of minutes, the heaviest being to the south and out of the southeast of you. Moments, we've got a thunderstorm headed your direction. It's non-severe right now. There's some thunder and lightning, some small hail with it. And like we've done with all these storms today, let's just do a check on the velocity. And there is nothing that is rotating with this thunderstorm. So, so far so good, everybody. We're in good shape. There's the new severe thunderstorm warning for the thunderstorm for this one, actually, and the one that we were just looking at. So we'll do a new warning information tag here, and I'll get you updated. But they're talking about potential for this thunderstorm, and we'll take a look at a different radar, potentially as high as 70 miles per hour. So this is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that includes central and eastern Kankakee County and stretches into Lake County, Indiana, and northern sections of Newton County. That's it. Actually, let's come back here. There you go. It's this one right here. And this is in effect until 3:15, so almost an hour for this particular thunderstorm. So we'll go back to live radar mode with this one and do a storm track for it as well. We should have this coming off the printer shortly, but that's a new aggressive thunderstorm capable of producing damaging winds, hail, and also, so this particular thunderstorm looks to clip portions of Will County as well as it moves up towards the northeast. So there it's coming off the printer, and we'll get you information on this one as it's moving quickly off towards the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So these are fast-moving thunderstorms, and the only good news about fast-moving thunderstorms, it means they'll move out of the area sooner rather than later. And I'm thinking by the time we head towards 5 o'clock for sure, we're going to be in really good shape across the area. So this is not going to ruin your Sunday. It's not an event that we're going to have to deal with all Sunday long. So let's do a new storm track with this one as it moves off towards the northeast like so at 55 miles per hour. And again, it's these communities that could see wind gusts maybe as high as 70 miles per hour. There's also some hail embedded in this thunderstorm, but we're looking at this thunderstorm warning, and this is a thunderstorm that's also starting to rotate. So we want to watch that. We're going to see what this thunderstorm around Will County is doing as well. But first things first, we have this thunderstorm moving into Moments at 2:21. So here in the next 4 minutes, Beaver at 2:28, Kinner at 2:48, Valparaiso right at the top of the hour at 3:02. So Valpo, get ready at 3 o'clock for this thunderstorm that could be producing some damaging winds closer to you. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning that now includes the city of Chicago. It's this one that we were watching in Will County, and it's this thunderstorm to the south of Joliet to Manhattan that's also moving up towards the north and northeast right now. This one's moving quickly at 55 miles per hour. And the Weather Service says that 60 mile per hour winds will be possible with this particular thunderstorm. And they've also have noted some rotation with this particular thunderstorm. So let's see. They are watching this thunderstorm right now as it's headed towards New Lenox. The severe thunderstorm includes central Will County, southwestern Cook County, and they're also watching the thunderstorm to the south of it that's going to be making its way from eastern Kankakee County into Newton and also Lake County. These are all damaging wind thunderstorms right now, but I do want to show you the latest statistics on this new warning, this new severe thunderstorm warning for Will County, just to the south of Joliet, that has come out. And they have put a tag on it called tornado possible. So just meaning that they're keeping an eye on the Doppler radar for rotation. It's not a tornadic storm right now, but it's getting stronger. There could be 1-inch sized hail to the north of Manhattan right now, to the south of I-80 headed into Frankfurt, along with some very intense winds. Potential wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So we'll take a look at the Doppler radar display on winds, and I don't see anything at the moment that is indicating tight rotation. So, well, that being said, let's take a look at Manhattan real quick. Let's just see if this is something that we need to be concerned about. So kind of over Manhattan, potential for some rotation. I'm going to use a different radar. This is one out of Midway. It's a little farther away, but kind of gives us a different view of what the thunderstorm looks like from just a different radar site. But this thunderstorm not far from the actual main radar that we use out of Romeoville. So we want to watch this thunderstorm. We'll do a storm track on this one. The city of Chicago, the loop included in this severe thunderstorm, and we'll do a storm track again. This one also moving up towards the northeast like so at 55 miles per hour. So we're going to put it in New Lenox at 2:22. So here in 2 minutes, Mokina at 2:26, Orland Park at 2:31, Tinley Park at 2:34, Oak Forest at 2:37. So all of these locations, we have a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60 mile per hour winds, and we're watching it closely for rotation. Chicago Heights at 2:41, Pullman at 2:48, Hyde Park at 252, East Chicago at 255, and Bluffton at 257. I'm going to draw an actual wider one now, just because I think since this is moving into a area that is conducive for even more development with this thunderstorm, we'll just kind of do a wider track on this, pardon me, and we'll try to get Chicago on here. And Chicago just before the top of the hour. So let's say about 30 minutes, 34 minutes from now, here in the loop, we could have a severe thunderstorm move on in. So a lot of people are out and about because we have some very warm temperatures. I'll show you the temperatures still in the 70s in many spots, even upper 70s at Midway. People are enjoying the sun mixed with clouds right now. I'm looking out over Daily Plaza. There's people out and about. Know that we do have severe storms headed into the city, in particular the south side of the city, here over the next 30 to 40 minutes. And it's coming in with a wind threat. We have a tornado watch, meaning that the conditions are favorable for development of tornadoes this afternoon. And we also have a lightning threat, cloud and ground lightning threat with these thunderstorms as well. So at the moment, we have 3 severe pockets that we're keeping an eye on. One up here towards the north in Lake County. This one is moving quickly off towards the northeast at around 55 to even 60 miles per hour. This will be out over the lake here within the next 10 to 15 minutes. But from Winthrop Harbor to Zion to Waukegan, some small hail, some gusty winds, and we'll just take a look at the velocity scan, see if we see any kind of big time rotation, and we don't. So that one is moving quickly, and we'll be done with that one shortly. Then as you get into Cook County, we have new development not too far from O'Hare. I want to look at velocity scan with this one as well, and there's some gusty winds. This could be where our next severe thunderstorm comes from, and we'll do a 30-minute loop just to see if this one is also moving to the northeast or moving to the east, and it's moving off towards the northeast like so. And this is an area moving into a place where we have temperatures in the low 70s. There's also indications here on the radar that I'm looking at of these little hooks going on, and I'll show you what I mean. You see we got a little appendage here, a little appendage here near North Lake, maybe one out here towards the southwest of Wester. So we want to watch that. Nothing right now on the velocity scan, and actually we'll use the Doppler radar out of O'Hare to take a closer look. No. So that's good news, but we'll want to watch this one as this moves closer to Elmwood Park, Logan Square, Lincoln Square, Jefferson Park, Evanston, Edgewater. Not a severe thunderstorm right now, but we want to watch that one closely. Also a thunderstorm that's mainly producing some downpours from Westchester southward to Countryside, headed into Lyons and Berwyn soon. But that is non-severe. I'll turn on lightning, and there's not even much lightning with that one. And then we've got this thunderstorm to the south of Burr Ridge and back here towards the west of Burbank that we want to keep an eye on for developing hill core. That's also moving up towards the northeast right now. We'll zoom in a little bit. So this is right along Illinois 171, and it's coming up on 294, just out here towards the west-southwest of Hickory Hills. So a little bit of hail developing there, not much in the way of lightning. That storm is non-severe. This thunderstorm, on the other hand, this one is a mess. This is a thunderstorm near New Lenox and stretching to near Frankfort that is capable of producing some damaging winds along with some rotation. And there's also some indications that you see here in black of potentially hail the size of 1/4. Let me change the color of that of this line so when I draw you can actually see it because it's blending so much in. So these little areas of black red in here, that is an area that we're going to keep an eye on for 1-inch size hail, and we'll do a 30-minute loop for this one and do a new storm track as well. But this one's moving off towards the northeast, it looks like still. So once this starts to turn a little bit more eastwardly, want to keep an eye on it because then it maybe gets rooted closer to the ground and the tornado threat may go up at that point. But the Weather Service has put these 2 severe thunderstorms, the one here in Will County about to move into southwestern areas of Cook County, and this one in far eastern Kankakee County about to move into northwest Indiana, Lake County, northern section of Newton County, both have a tornado possible tag on them, meaning that the Weather Service on each scan is watching it very closely with these thunderstorms that could be rotating. The Weather Service, they're just now typing up on our chat that they can't rule out a brief EF0 type tornado with the clusters of storms near Homer Glen, Mokina, and Frankfort. Okay, so it's that first severe thunderstorm we were talking about. So with that, let's spend some time here and let's do a reset on the first area that we're watching, this first severe thunderstorm warning that's in Will County and about to move into southwestern Cook County. This is a thunderstorm capable of producing not just damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, but also large hail up to 1 inch, along with some rotation that could produce a brief spin-up tornado. So heads up control room, we're okay right now, but at some point we may need to get our action box during March Madness here shortly. I'll let you know when that happens. So this one is moving off towards, let me get the latest statistics with this one, see if this one forward speed has changed at all. And this one's a 55-mile-per-hour mover as well. So let's do a new storm track as this moves off like so to the northeast at 55, and that would put it in, kind of move this over here so we can see, Frankfurt at 226. So moving into Frankfurt right now, we've got damaging winds and some hail with this thunderstorm. Orland Park at 231, Worth at 236, Oak Lawn get ready at 239, Auburn Gresham now getting in the south side of Chicago at 245, Pullman at 247, Hammond, Indiana at 253, and East Chicago at 256. On its current motion, I'll clean this up for you a bit. This would put the worst part of this thunderstorm to the south, maybe just the south of the loop, but a little too close to call, and we'll kind of see what the movement of this thunderstorm does over the next 10 minutes. But bottom line is, loop southward between about 2:45 and 3:10. Let's be on the lookout for this severe thunderstorm. That is something that the Weather Service is watching for potential rotation. So Frankfurt and up here towards the north of Frankfurt, right along I-80 to the south of Orland Hills. I've got a hill core to the north of Mokina, right in here. Anytime you see black on our Doppler radar, that's a radar beam pinging off of some areas of hail the size of 1 inch. Mary Kay Clark's keep an eye on the Doppler radar as well. And Mary Kay, you saw that we have the areas of spin coming in out of the southwest. Both thunderstorms, no active tornado warning on the Kankakee storm or the Will County storm, but that's something you're keeping a close eye on the radar display.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 northwest of Peatone, possible brief tornado there. We're watching for rotation. National Weather Service looking at that spot for some brief rotation down near Peatone. So we're looking at Peatone right here. You can see on the velocity tracker. The National Weather Service is looking at this area. This area is very much favorable for a brief tornado just to the north and west of Peatone. So this is part of that severe thunderstorm warning where storms are racing to the northeast at 55 miles per hour. So I want to put a track on that storm right now because its movement is so fast you can be caught off guard, because we even have some brief breaks with sunshine in southern Cook County. But when we look at the track of this, 55 miles per hour, here we go. So Orland Park, 230, then into Worth at 236, Midway at 243, Bridgeport, 249, into Chicago at 252, Gary just after the top of the hour, and then also into Glen Park. So this is a spot that we are monitoring. In fact, I want to recap here where we have the brand new warnings and spots we're very much watching for severe weather and the chance for possible rotation. You have a severe thunderstorm warning left over in Lake County. You have one in Will and Cook, and then one farther to the south in Kankakee County, the eastern portions leading into Porter County and also into Newton. But our concern for the city is this one. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, but it has the black flash around the polygon just because the National Weather Service has tagged it as a possibility for some rotation into a tornado perhaps. But right now it's a severe thunderstorm warning. Wind speeds are to 60 miles per hour, and 3/4 inch hail is certainly a possibility with this storm. So that is our strongest cell right now. Then a little farther south of that, we have another one. This severe thunderstorm warning also is tagged for rotation with the possibility of a tornado. And this is in effect until 3:15 for Kankakee, Lake, Newton, and Will County. So this is starting to move from Illinois to northwest Indiana for winds to 60 miles per hour. Both of these intense cells are moving northeast at 55. So they are moving very quickly. Let's put a track on those so you can get an idea of where you should be taking cover. So the strongest weather right now is between Orland Park and Peatone. So if we zoom out to the north and east and track that into southern Cook County, we're talking into some highly populated areas. Its movement northeast, driving northeast at 55 miles per hour. Take a look at this. So Orland Park, 231. This is a severe thunderstorm warning moving into your neighborhood now. Also with the chance that it could quickly spin up a brief tornado. Here, wait 1 second. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning. Let's go to that one because we have, okay, this has been updated and this is for Kankakee Lake. They've added Newton and Will County. So they've added Lake County in northwest Indiana. This one also has the possibility for a tornado with winds gusting to 60 miles per hour. So all of these severe storms now are lining up and closing in on the city and also into northwest Indiana. So back to our track on the one right now over Orland Park, we have a lot of intense rain with that. Winds to 60 miles per hour. Hail is a big possibility as well. So here's the track right now over Orland Park. You probably should stay away from windows and move into the center portion of your home because this could quickly spin up with rotation. Moving through Midway and the surrounding neighborhoods there. If you live near Midway, 247. 248 for the actual runways. Then as we get into Bridgeport, 257. That is for our severe thunderstorm warning that is sitting up to the north. And that is moving 55 miles per hour with its forward speed. Then if we look a little farther to the south, I also want to track this one. This one has great intensity too. It's right here, crossing the state line from Indiana, now moving into Lake County and Porter County. Quick track on this, and then we'll go back over to Elbert to look at other areas of rotation. Want you to take cover and stay away from windows here because you could have a quick spin up here as those powerful storms pull into northwest Indiana. So Elbert, the fast forward speed of these is just so incredible. You can really be caught off guard. We have such a windy, warm day, but Lowell 239, Cedar Lake 243, then into Maryville at 258. Let's get an update from you now, Elbert.
Thank you, Mary Kay. Yeah, let's keep an eye on those thunderstorms, as you said, moving into Tinley and Orland Park, southwestern areas of Cook County, and a new tornado warnings issued. So control room, this is the time that we want to go action box on TV, and you'll see the squeeze happen. We'll stay here on the stream, but we have a new tornado warning in effect. And control room, this is not a audio, this is only an action box only type of situation. But this is going to be in northern sections of Newton County and moving into southern sections of Lake County in Indiana. So a brand new tornado warning, and Mary Kay was right. It's incredible just in the last couple of scans how this went from nothing to something. And there you see the rotation not too far from Lake Village, and this is moving off towards the east-northeast. Will be making its way across I-65 near Kenner. And Mary Kay, when you have a storm track ready, we'll go to you for this one. Until then, let me show you the Doppler radar right in here and those new statistics with this brand new tornado warning, the first one of the day issued here in northwest Indiana. Again, it includes the extreme southern sections of Lake County, mainly rural sections of Lake County, and the northern sections of Newton County, where we have a little bit more population. And this is moving off towards the east-northeast at a quick pace. So we'll get the latest statistics here. And there you see the spin of the atmosphere, not far from Lake Village right now. And this is a tornado warning in effect until the top of the hour, until 3 o'clock, with this thunderstorm moving so fast at 60 miles per hour. And this is a thunderstorm that is producing potentially even some hail on the backside of it, and also the potential for a tornado. This is not a confirmed tornado. It's just enough evidence on the radar scan that this thunderstorm could be producing a tornado now or soon. And I'll do a storm track like this for you in the short term. And there we have it moving in to Roselawn at 238, Shelby Community Park at 238, Forest City at 242, Keener at 244, and then 5 Points Corner at 257, and just before the top of the hour at 257 at Couch. So this thunderstorm, mainly in an open country in northern sections of Newton County, will be at least kind of skirting across southern areas of Lake County here in northwest Indiana shortly. And that's something that we're going to keep a close eye on. So there's a look at the new radar scan. And as that radar scan comes in, we'll look at the latest velocity on this. And not super tight rotation. This is going to be pushing away from Lake Village and away from Schneider. So that's good news. If you are along Highway 41 in Lake Village and northward there to Schneider, right now I have the main rotation moving away from you. But if you're in Roselawn, you're still in this polygon. And if you're along I-65 from near Roselawn to Eagle Creek, all right, it's in this part of the area. This is where we want to get you to a safe place. And you can see on our high resolution mapping, this is moving into a little bit more of a populated area. It's a fast mover to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. So no travel along I-65, say from near Eagle Creek to near Roselawn, with this rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado right now. So let's do a reset in a wide perspective as we bring folks over from the TV side to watch us here on the stream. We have, of course, March Madness on CBS, but we're keeping them updated right now on CBS. And we have a mess on the Doppler radar right now with one tornado warning in northwest Indiana, but also multiple areas that we're keeping an eye on for rotation across the area. We'll start here in Cook County right now. We have a non-severe thunderstorm that's moving through the North Shore right now, approaching Evanston and Edgewater soon. Non-severe, but some thunder and lightning. And then we have this severe thunderstorm that's pulling away now from Orland Park and right over Worth. The potential here for large hail and damaging winds. And we'll take a look at velocity scan to see if we have any rotation. We don't, but this is a damaging wind threat right now with this particular thunderstorm that's moving in to southern sections of Cook County. And what we'll do also with this one is another storm track. These are all fairly uniform in their movement to the east-northeast, like so, at 55 miles per hour. So the communities that you see now listed here, these are the communities capable of producing a severe thunderstorm, capable of producing 60-plus mile per hour winds. And there is some rotation that we're keeping an eye on. So Beverly at 240, Oaklawn before that at 236, Auburn Gresham, south side of Chicago at 242. Get ready for a severe thunderstorm to move into your neighborhood. Pullman at 245, Hyde Park at 246, Chicago Velo Campus at 248, and eventually Whiting as we get closer to 249. So that is a thunderstorm that's moving in to the metro right now. We also have this thunderstorm not far from St. John that looks to be a hail-producing thunderstorm. We'll just take a quick look at velocity. There's at least some rotation with that thunderstorm, so we'll want to watch that one. Nothing tight on the rotation scan, though. But it's this one here, down here towards the south, that we're keeping a very close eye on. Gosh, this is a mean thunderstorm. Control room, just let me know when we can go back to Mary Kay, because I know she's watching this too. But we have a mean thunderstorm near Lake Village to Roselawn and approaching I-65 right now near Eagle Creek. And this will eventually be making its way closer to Boone and Kinner as you head into southern sections of Porter County, northern sections of Jasper County. And Mary Kay, it's not just, as you see here, the rotation, but we have a huge hail core developing now right there. The potential for large hail the size of 1 inch, if not bigger. Over to you.
Exactly. And, you know, the National Weather Service is looking carefully, too, at some circulation that's approaching Shelby and Thayer. So that potential for that rotation is certainly there. Here is all of the warnings that we have right now. Severe thunderstorm warnings for southern Cook County, also into much of northwest Indiana, Lake Porter, Newton, and Jasper counties. But our concern is that we have this tornado warning. What communities are we talking about? This isn't in effect until 3 o'clock. I want to do it without the radar to show you that from McClellan to Lake Village, as you go through Eagle Creek, Rose Lawn, and up into Lake and Porter counties here near Boone, we are going to see these severe cells possibly rotate, and we are getting evidence of that on radar with this current warning. So Lake and Newton, this is our tornado warning for you in northwest Indiana, and this is in effect until 3 o'clock this afternoon. So rotation showing up on radar. Let's take a closer look at it right near Rose Lawn. This is east of you in Schneider. Intense winds with this as well. In fact, you could have wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour. Now, these storms, too, have a history of just racing northeastward. So this tornado is moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour. So we're talking now through Schneider, headed for you in Boone as well. In fact, I'm going to take a wider view of that because it's going so fast. We have to zoom it out. So we're talking Lake and Porter counties in northwest Indiana. That's where this cell is moving into. So a northeasterly track on this. Forward speed is just racing at 60 miles per hour. Here are the towns in the track of this tornado. So it's radar indicated rotation. Tornado warning in effect until 3 o'clock here for northwest Indiana. So Eagle Creek at 2:47, coming up in about 6 minutes for you. Boone 2:57, then right at the top of the hour at 3:02, Porter County. And then as we get into Valparaiso at 3:13. So if your town is on this list, even into New Durham at 3:31 and Springville at 3:50, you definitely want to take cover in the lowest level of your home, away from as many windows as possible. The idea is to put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. You can see the intensity of these storms. So much lightning as they continue racing northeastward, focusing on the lakefront and focusing into parts of northwest Indiana. So we still have this severe thunderstorm cell as well that's now moving through the Midway neighborhoods, Harvey, heading into Pullman and Hyde Park. So that's a severe thunderstorm warning that we're also watching. Oh, it looks like it just, well, no, it didn't expire. It is moving closer to the city, but the rotation down to the south, that's what we want to take a look at. We see the hail core, we see those extreme winds. This is all starting to cross over I-65 right here, heading closer to Keener and to Boone, and it's moving so incredibly fast. You could see those winds gusting between 60 and 70 miles per hour. So this is the tornado warned storm that we are looking at right now as it moves closer to you in Keener and Boone. And Albert, I think if people are in Valparaiso as well, you definitely want to take cover and put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. This is a tornado warning until 3 o'clock. Over to you.
Okay, everybody, we are live here on the stream, and also we're producing information on CBS as March Madness goes on, but we have an active Doppler radar right now, and I'm going to take my IP out. We have this thunderstorm that is in central and southern sections of Cook County, capable of producing large hail and damaging winds. But it's this thunderstorm down here towards the south that we're keeping a very close eye on right now. And this thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado. So let me put my computer in live mode again, and we'll get this going for you. But this is a thunderstorm that is something we're going to be keeping an eye on, as it could be producing a tornado right now as it moves into southern sections of Lake County. And there you see all of the active areas of warnings and this tornado watch that's in effect in the area right now. So there's a look at the Doppler radar, the wide perspective of the Doppler radar. And we want to keep a close eye on this thunderstorm moving to the south side of Chicago. But first things first, let's look at this thunderstorm that has an active tornado warning on it right now. And we'll zoom in and we'll get the latest information on rotation with this thunderstorm. And this can be passing right over I-65 soon. We'll put this into live mode, and it looks like the worst of this thunderstorm just to the south of Eagle Creek and to the north and west of Kinner. This is now moving away from Schneider and Lowell. And here's a look at the velocity scan with this thunderstorm. And there you see the spin in the atmosphere. And what we want to do is loop this the last 30 minutes, just to kind of see if the forward motion has changed. And this is now moving more towards the north. See how it's taking a jog up towards the north? So if you're in Eagle Creek, if you're in Boone, you have to get to your safe spot right now. That's going to be the lowest part of your home. If you live in a two-story home, it's going to be the first floor. These basements are best, but if you don't have a basement, it's between the center part of your house and the lowest floor. As many walls between you and the outside with this thunderstorm that's moving in to Eagle Creek right now and will be crossing I-65 here in Lake County, Indiana shortly. It looks like there's a new little area spin here. Let's go to live Doppler radar, see what we got. So this is an area that we've had temperatures in the 70s. We've got a spin in the atmosphere, conducive for development of not just severe weather, but also tornadoes. And this whole thunderstorm is severe, moving across Lake County, the worst of which looks to pass just the south of Gary. So we'll keep an eye on that. And there's a little bit broader view for you with some strong winds and thunderstorms moving into northern sections of Jasper County. So that's the area of concern number one. Let's get a little bit closer to Chicago, because this thunderstorm is mean with a brand new scan coming in right now. This is a severe thunderstorm moving into the south side of Chicago, and this one could be producing 1-inch diameter hail along with some gusty winds. So first things first, because we are on the outlook for the potential for tornadoes. Don't see any tight rotation with this thunderstorm, but there are some very strong winds right now approaching the Dan Ryan. And what we can do is, and actually I don't think I have that camera available, but let's just double check. Let's take a look at some of our live cameras. And there you see the ominous looking clouds coming into Chicago right now. And this camera remains down, the one that's along the Dan Ryan. So we'll watch that one, see if it comes back. But we can take a look at our Grant Park camera. And if you are out and about outside, I know we've got a lot of visitors, spring break still. This is the outflow boundary. This is the winds coming out ahead of these thunderstorms, the rain cooled air, and the ominous looking clouds are moving into Chicago as we speak. So we'll zoom out And I'll show you the wide perspective with an upper level low coming in out of the west, severe weather on the nose of this upper level low, and we'll come back and take a look at a little bit closer view of Chicago. So we do have multiple areas that we're watching right now. Severe weather threat coming to an end out here towards the west. That's good news, but the worst of the weather for Chicago, in particular the south side of Chicago, it's moving in as we speak. So we'll zoom in here and we'll look at what's happening. We'll zoom in, and there you see this thunderstorm approaching the Dan Ryan, approaching the south side of Chicago as this is moving off towards the east-northeast at 55 miles per hour. There you see it coming on in. Gosh, we're going to get some pretty rough weather moving into Chicago right now. There's a lot of action right now at Daley Plaza. It looks like, let me just take a peek outside real quick. It looks like maybe there's a protest going on right now. And these people, they need to know they need to get to a safe spot. So hopefully they're watching us on our big screen out there. But this is going to be clipping the loop. It's thunder, it's lightning, it's a dangerous thunderstorm with hail. And there are hundreds of people right now outside on Dearborn at Daley Plaza. So hopefully they get the message that this is a dangerous storm that is impacting the city of Chicago soon. Let me show you the latest statistics with this thunderstorm. And this is the thunderstorm that is, let's come back in here and we'll straighten this up a little bit and we'll zoom in that we get the right message. There you go. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 3 p.m. For Cook County and Lake County into northwest Indiana. Potential for this storm, winds of 70 miles per hour. So this is considerable wind damage possible with this particular thunderstorm. That's what I'm telling you. This is a dangerous storm that if people are out and about, I know it was some sunshine mixed with clouds and temperatures in the 70s just a few minutes ago, but this is what we have been worried about since late last week, that we would have a nice spring warm day. People would be out and about enjoying their weekend. They would disconnect when it comes to weather information, and then we'd have severe weather roll in just around 3 o'clock. That's something that we've been talking about the last couple of days. I'm going to turn on now Doppler radar out of O'Hare because this is going to give us a little bit finer view since we're in the city of Chicago. We'll back this out just a bit, but we have back of the yards and Bridgeport, a severe storm moving into the south side as we speak. And what I want to do is loop the last 30 minutes and we'll see, this will load, it'll take a second to load, but we'll see this thunderstorm move up here towards the east-northeast. Well, maybe that radar loop is down, so we'll come back and look at the live view. So it's a hail-producing thunderstorm here on the south side. And the other thing I want to show you is the velocity, because there are some intense winds. Gosh, it looks like maybe this is rotating at least a little bit. So we want to watch that. Let me see what the Weather Service is saying. So this particular thunderstorm has produced some wind gusts, but the worst of the weather is down here towards the south into northwest Indiana. We'll look at that in a second. There's a tree down in Orland Park. This thunderstorm bringing down a tree at 88th Avenue and Chadbourne in Orland Park. So we're watching that. So this has had the history of producing some wind damage as it moved on in. There you look at Doppler radar right now, and the Hail Corps getting a report from O'Hare that O'Hare International now with a ground stop because of these severe thunderstorms that are moving on in. Bronzeville, we have some hail and heavy rain. Sox are playing. So this is at least a rain delay, and hopefully folks there have taken note. Sandy, if you want to text Dan Kramer is out there. Maybe we can get just a report of what's going on at Rate Field, and we'll zoom out and look at this heavy rainfall right now, southwestern Chicago, and moving into the loop right now. So we'll loop this for you so you see what's happening. And this is going to pass right on top of the loop. Again, we have a lot of people right now at the Lakeshore, Lakefront Trail. There's again, a protest that just went by the station here a few minutes ago. These people need to get to a safe spot because it's not just heavy rainfall and hail, but some very, very heavy winds coming in. And let's take a look at the lightning situation. And just in this view, there have been 20 cloud ground lightning strikes moving into Chicago here over the last 15 minutes. So it's not a crazy electric storm, but that's still dangerous either way you slice it. Okay, broad view because we still have that active tornado warning in effect. I'm looking at Mary Kay's computer until the top of the hour, so about another 11 minutes. The worst of this severe weather is moving through Chicago right now and northwest Indiana. You guys are just getting it also. We'll zoom in. And Gary, we're looking at passing showers and thunderstorms for you. Let's start up here towards the north and we'll work our way down. All right, we got passing showers and thunderstorms for you, but when we have new development coming in out of Chicago Heights, out of southern sections of Cook County headed your direction, all right? And then we have this thunderstorm with a large hail core passing I-65, southern sections of Lake County and moving up like this closer to Boone. So let's loop this, see if the forward direction and speed of change, yeah, it's kind of spinning up more northeast. So Valparaiso, this is a storm headed your direction. Large hail and damaging wind threat with that thunderstorm. We'll go to velocity scan, some intense winds, but at this point, we'll look at one more storm relative velocity. No tight rotation with that thunderstorm. That's good news. The thunderstorm that did prompt a tornado warning, this is it. This is the one that's moving into Boone now. There's the live scan, and I don't see any strong areas of rotation like it did. And what we can do here is we'll loop the last half hour. Yeah, so there it was. So you saw that spin come out of northern sections right there, northern sections of Newton County, kind of past I-65, and now it's up here towards Boone. But it's not looking tornadic as it was. So again, you'll see that right there, spinning. It was a quick spin up northern section of Newton County, and then it was more straight line wind. So this little polygon you see here, the tornado warning, that's probably going to get canceled soon if it hasn't already. So as we get ready to go to commercial break on the TV side, it gives me an opportunity to take a look at the computer over here. So hang with me, everybody, as we track this severe weather threat that is continuing to move into Chicago right now, and of course down in northwest Indiana. This is the view from the Hancock, looking up towards the north, and gusty winds and heavy rain, and at times cloud ground lightning is moving in right now. Let's take a look at one of our other computers, and I'm just curious to see what the Weather Service is going to do with that tornado warning. And my guess is it's going to expire in 9 minutes, 8 minutes now. But if they cancel it earlier, because that spin is out of that polygon. Yes, so for Newton County, that tornado warning has been canceled. So that's good news. So that tornado warning has been canceled. The tornado threat down towards the south, and I'll zoom in there for you, is moving out of the area. So I'm going to hang out here in the Weather Center for a second, and then control room, I'll go back to the wall in a moment. But this gives us an opportunity to take a look at the rest of the area. So just now added is LaPorte County into this severe thunderstorm warning. All of Porter County also under this warning. Let me get the latest statistics with this one, with this thunderstorm, its forward speed, its threats, and the one that's pushing through Lake County, Indiana, southern sections of Porter County and extending into Jasper County, the one that was responsible for a tornado warning, which has since been canceled, is moving to the northeast at 60 miles per hour and is capable of producing wind gusts as high as 70 miles per hour. So let's do a big storm track on this one, just like this, northeast, again at 60 miles per hour. In the cities you see listed now on the storm track, these are cities that could experience heavy rainfall, will experience heavy rainfall, lightning, but also could experience wind gusts as high as 70 miles per hour. And that's going to be Lake Station at 2:57, so here in about 4 minutes. Valparaiso at 3:04, Chesterton at 3:07, Michigan City and LaPorte a little bit closer to 3:20, and then Kankakee, not Kankakee, Illinois, but Kankakee, Indiana, which is in our extreme far eastern viewing area in LaPorte County at around 3:27. So now through about 3:30, we got this action that will continue to work across northwest Indiana. But at this point, the tornado warning that was in effect, that way Blake and Nancy, tracking tornado warnings, we can drop that now. That tornado warning that was in effect has been canceled. Let's come back to Chicago, and we got the heaviest rain right now focused right over the lakeshore, and the best we can do is live Doppler radar out of O'Hare, and there you see it. It is messy out there, and there's a look at the live view from the Hancock, and let's load a few more cameras here. Daily Plaza cam is up. Let's see. I need to route that onto my computer. Nancy, it may be easier for you to take it if you can. Okay, there's a MW. Oh, let's see. Okay, there's a look at the Hancock looking northward. Gosh, it's just blinding rainfall. It is messy out there. And there you see the Doppler radar view right over the city of Chicago. But if we look at velocity, we're in good shape. The worst of the winds now beginning to pull away. So I'm going to head back to the key wall control room now that we're back on the TV side. And just based on this radar view, the worst of the winds moving away from Chicago and right now hugging the lakeshore here in Lake County in northwest Indiana. Okay, so the reset, now that we're back on the television side, it's at 2:55 right now. The tornado warning that was in effect for Newton County has been canceled, so that's good news. And if we zoom in here, it's mainly a straight line wind threat that is right along the south shore, right? All the way to Whiting into Gary. And the Doppler radar here, back out towards the west of Gary and approaching Gary, is sampling winds of 60 plus miles per hour. And what we can do is go back to Doppler radar view here. No areas of rotation in this, but there's straight line wind damage for sure. But if we take a look at a little bit closer to Chicago, I want to give West Chicago and Northwest Chicago, O'Hare, out towards DuPage County, I want to give you the all clear. Watch out for some cloud and ground lightning, but the severe weather threat is now pushing offshore. That's good news. So here in the loop, here in downtown, at Sox Park, at Rate Field, things are going to improve very, very soon. And I think we'll be able to get Sox game going. I assume they're still playing. I'm assuming they're probably, fifth inning or something like that. But there's still some lightning around on the south side, really from Chinatown all the way to Hyde Park. So that's going to be the threat in the meantime. Okay, let me show you where the worst the weather is right now. We have downpours but non-severe weather in Pullman. And then you get into this mess that's moving into Lake County. It's this thunderstorm capable of producing wind gusts of 60 plus miles per hour. That is some intense winds. And what we can do is we can actually sample these winds to see what the radar is picking up on. So that's showing 35, but we'll look at this other display here, which is showing some really, really gusty winds moving here along the rim of the lake and northern sections of Lake County. So we'll continue to, okay, yeah, so Sox are on a rain delay, just getting that in my ear, which is good news. May be that way for the next at least 30 minutes because they've got, even though the wind and severe weather threats moving offshore, they got the cloud and lightning that's going to stick around, right? All right, so Winfield, I-65, gusty winds moving into Valpo right now. This is a storm that prompted the tornado warning about 20 minutes ago, and now it's just winds coming into Valparaiso, and we'll loop this for you. In Valparaiso, there you see it coming on in right now. Rain, thunder, lightning, and some gusty winds in this area now also under severe thunderstorm warning for the potential for this thunderstorm producing winds as high as 70 miles per hour. So that tornado warning is going to disappear from our system soon. That's good news. There you go. We'll show you that. There's the new warning that's prompted Porter County and LaPorte County until 4 o'clock. Wow, okay. Whole hour to go with this one, moving into LaPorte County. 60 mile per hour winds possible and hail possible with this thunderstorm. And they put this tag here, tornado possible, just because these thunderstorms are moving into an environment that allows them to spin. Like we saw that quick little spin up tornado, potential tornado on the Doppler radar that was coming out of northern areas of Newton County into southern sections of Lake County. And then as you move here into Wheatfield and Barclay out here around I-65, Rensselaer area, it's just rain and thunder, some small hail. And just because we're keeping an eye on the radar situation, a little bit of rotation right here, about to move out of our viewing area, moving to the north of White Post, Indiana. So a little bit of rotation here, but that's moving out of the viewing area, and that's good news. So wide perspective, everybody. Now we can give ourselves a little bit of breathing room. And also, Nancy and control room, now that that tornado warning has ended, it's up to Sandy and Jeff, but we can probably take the streaming now off the television side, just because we don't have an active tornado warning, but up to the managers. But we're going to stay here in the stream with you, everybody. Continuous coverage here on CBS News Chicago as we're keeping an eye on the Doppler radar across the area. We'll go back to the traditional radar scan. And since we're off the TV side, let me just work this from the Weather Center. So here's the good news. And I think the temperature display will kind of tell the story. Where you see the cooler air now, that's where we have stable air coming in. And if I loop this over the last 3 hours, it's kind of a fast loop, but you'll see how we went from 78 Midway to now 65. Went from 75 O'Hare to now 66. It's in the 40s up in Waukegan. So as the temperatures are cool, both from rain-cooled air and also some winds that are starting to shift, that's pulling in a little bit drier and also stable air. So there you see the winds coming in out of the west in Rockford and McHenry, kind of still out of the southwest of the rest of the area, but our severe weather threat is being reduced in a big way. And one thing I can show you here is a look at the future radar. I'm kind of curious to see what this looks like, but gosh, models just did an amazing job. So this is showing right now at 3 o'clock, showing the worst of the weather, offshore now from Chicago and still in northwest Indiana, right? This particular model just nailed it today. And so as we head towards the next hour, notice how the severe weather threat is over by 4 o'clock across northeastern Illinois. Despite that tornado watch in effect till 7 o'clock, I think a lot of our counties are going to get trimmed out within the hour. But we're still going to be mindful for the chance of severe weather in northwest Indiana, in particular LaPorte County, okay, as we head into the next hour. And by 5 o'clock, all right, maybe a lingering thunderstorm, LaPorte County, but this is a Michigan and northern and northeastern Indiana problem. And then as we roll through the overnight, some cooler air begins to move in, and then we'll be dry. So I want to look at one more model. This is one of our high-resolution model, and it's just coming in. It may take a second for it to load. But this will give me another idea if the data is all coming together. There we go. So 3 o'clock showing same situation, heaviest action, Cook County offshore. This one's a little bit slower, so I'm really favoring this one. And for our weather friends, our friends that love weather like we do, this is the HRRR, the High Resolution Rapid Refresh, which just nailed the timing and intensity of this event, which is great to share that the technology is that good. All right, let me come back here. We're going to talk about the worst of the weather right now. Valparaiso, we've got showers and thunderstorms moving across your area, across Porter County right now, sliding up towards the east-northeast. We'll zoom in here. Got a little bit of hail moving into Valparaiso. I'm thinking below severe weather limits with this particular one, but we'll take a look at velocity scan. Got some strong winds coming into Valpo right now. All right, that's going to be making its way into Liberty and, of course, the very busy corridors of I-94, I-80 in northern Porter County and eventually LaPorte County shortly. So that's what's happening there. And then if we move southward, let's zoom out. We'll do the wide perspective. Southward, we still have an intense thunderstorm in portions of Jasper County, but that's going to be moving out of the area shortly as well. So this is all really, really good news. Valparaiso, LaPorte, want to make sure that you're staying plugged in and mindful that we still have a tornado risk for you, but no active tornado warning. This particular thunderstorm that was in Jasper County that I did see some rotation is now out of the viewing area, so we love to see that as well. And then we'll come back to Chicago, and we've got some lingering showers now. You know, it's A-OK. There's our live look. This is actually from the Willis looking off towards the south. So the severe weather threat coming to an end in Chicago. That's a look from the Hancock looking up towards the north. And yeah, so we're looking better and better, everybody. I'm going to load kind of our camera network just so we can kind of get a glance of everything. And we mentioned how the severe weather threat coming to an end, especially out towards the western and northwestern suburbs. We'll start here. That's a look at the view from Rosemont, and it's not even raining there anymore. And then I can show you Oak Brook. Give it a second to load, but this is Oak Brook looking off towards the east, and A-OK in Oak Brook, and you see downtown out in the far distance. Okay, so we're in good shape. Severe weather situation coming to an end now in Chicago. I don't see any reports of damage here in Cook, but there was a hail report just under 1 inch at Tinley Park, so that's below severe weather limits. And there was a report of a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust in Munster in Lake County, Indiana. So that's a confirmed wind gust, severe thunderstorm wind gust. Okay, so that's good. So no active tornado warnings right now. We are still monitoring this severe thunderstorm stretched from not far from Gary to Valparaiso and back off towards the southwest from there. We'll put this into motion. And once this line moves out of the area, which is going to be pretty soon, I'll do a storm trap, but once that line moves out of here, we're in good shape. So we had been talking earlier this afternoon how, 5 o'clock, all is quiet. I think we can even go sooner than that. And just to show you, we can zoom out, and I'll show you what's going on in the big perspective, on the wide view. Is there anything else coming headed our way? And no, not really. So there's kind of the main line of severe weather that's pushing offshore and away from Chicago right now. That's across northwest Indiana right now. And then you look on the back side of it, and it's in really good shape with the wind starting to wrap around that area of low pressure, and some drier and cooler, I should say, will be coming on in. So there you see the winds rotating around the low pressure system. Take a look at temperatures right now. It should be falling. Yeah, low 60s, McHenry and DeKalb, 57, Rochelle. It's 44 with that lake influence in Waukegan. But where you see the 70s, like we do right now in Valparaiso, LaPorte, Michigan City, that's the area that we're still monitoring for additional severe weather. Severe thunderstorm warning already in effect for that area. I'll show you the latest statistics on it. So that's for Lake County. That's about to be discontinued. So the main severe weather threat is now here. That's LaPorte County until 4 o'clock. And let's see what they did there. Updated it till 3:15. Okay, so nope. Let's put in Porter County here. We would do multiple warnings here. That way we can get a nice display on everything that's being warned right now. This will be helpful. There you go. So Jasper Court, Porter County, a severe thunderstorm warning, at least for extreme southern and far eastern Jasper County until 3:45. That thunderstorm kept producing winds still 60 miles per hour. Lake County, that one is going to expire soon. Porter County, we're watching that thunderstorm that's pushing through Valparaiso right now. And then we'll kind of slide this map off towards the east just a bit. So we'll get LaPorte County on here. In LaPorte County, we have your severe thunderstorm warning until the top of the hour for the potential for some damaging winds. And Weather Service also keeping an eye on the threat of rotating thunderstorm that could produce a tornado. So that's something we're going to stay on the stream here for, and we'll take a look at the velocity scan. Gosh, there's some really intense winds still in this thunderstorm near Valparaiso, and we'll loop this for you. You kind of see the general movement is up towards the northeast. So a line of damaging winds headed into New Durham and eventually LaPorte and Michigan City. Get ready with the forward speed on this thunderstorm right around 55 miles per hour. So let's do a storm track on it. That way everyone is prepared. So the worst of the weather is over Porter County right now, near Valparaiso. There's the new scan coming in. And this is a fast mover. So we have it moving into Westchester now, moving into Michigan City at 3:17. So in about 10 minutes, Michigan City. Gosh, this thing is moving so quickly. Let me just adjust the forward speed. I'm going to do one thing here. Adjust the forward speed a little bit. That way we can get the timeline here as accurate as possible. But still, northeast 55 to 60 miles per hour. Let's put it in Michigan City here in 13 minutes, okay? At 3:20. Let's put it in New Buffalo at 4:30. That would be in Eastern time. So 3:30 Central time. So this is when, of course, we transition from Eastern time into out towards the far, far east, just outside our viewing area in the southwestern Michigan, into Central time back here at home. That area of spin that we're watching moving out of Jasper County, that I said that rotation's moving out of the area, that rotation has gotten stronger, and that's prompted a new tornado warning. Not for our viewing area though, but if you are watching from areas of northwest Indiana, this is a new tornado warning outside of the CBS Chicago viewing area. Pulaski and Stark County included here in Indiana for this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So this is the one that we were keeping a close eye on when it was in Jasper County and is moving off towards the northeast. And let's just to make sure it doesn't clip southern LaPorte County. Something we want to keep an eye on though for southern LaPorte County, okay? Because this is moving a little bit more northeasterly than easterly. You can kind of see that spin there. Let's go here. So not out of the woods just yet. As we mentioned, it was Porter County, LaPorte County in particular that we wanted to keep a close eye on for additional tornado warnings. We want to watch this storm as it is rotating just outside of our viewing area and not too far from Dewey, to the south of Dewey and back off towards the west of Knox. And as this spins northward, kind of moving like so, if it continues that spin, that would at least clip southern sections of LaPorte County. And LaPorte County in Indiana is on our viewing area. So we'll be on standby for that over the next several minutes. So as we zoom out, I told you I'd give you the all clear whenever the severe weather threat in terms of damaging winds and tornadoes and hail was over. And the damaging wind threat and tornado threat has come to an end in Chicago. I want you, though, to be mindful of the thunder and lightning. I haven't had any cloud and ground lightning in the loop over the last 15 minutes. The last one closest to Chicago was up here near Edgewater. And then you see most of the lightning is offshore. There is a rain delay at Rate Field for the Sox. We did have, about 20 minutes ago, a ground stop at O'Hare. I'm thinking that's probably been lifted by now. Blake, you let me know if that's the case. But say again? Oh. Okay. So so our producer Blake in my ear giving us some information. And here's the good news. We were talking about how the severe weather threat was coming to an end. And sure enough, and we also talked about how there was a good chance that this tornado watch would get canceled, get dropped before 7 o'clock. And yep, that's exactly what's happened. So here's the good news, everybody. At 3:10 here on CBS News Chicago, the severe weather threat, the tornado threat, has come to an end for all of northeastern Illinois. We're still monitoring rotating thunderstorms in northwest Indiana, in particular to the south of LaPorte County. We still have some gusty winds. I'll show you the radar in a second. We still have the threat of some hail in Porter County, but it's Porter and LaPorte County in particular that we're going to watch here over the next 20 minutes, and then things are going to improve from there. Okay, so go on about your day. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and evening. I know that was kind of weird there for a little bit here in Chicago with that severe storm moving in, but you see how quickly it has moved out of the area. We have some lingering areas of rain out towards the far western suburbs. We have temperatures that are now falling into the 60s, but some stable air is moving in. And as you saw, the tornado threat has ended here in northeastern Illinois. The area of concern still is going to be primarily in Porter and LaPorte County. Right now, we have a severe thunderstorm in northern sections of Porter County. This is going to be moving offshore soon, but we have a severe thunderstorm northern sections of Porter County near Westchester, some blinding rainfall, thunder, lightning, even some small hail around Westchester, and that's moving off towards the east-northeast, some gusty winds, but no big rotation. And then if we come down here, and I'm going to toss this back to Mary Kay. Mary Kay, unfortunately, we may be close to seeing another tornado warning issued with this thunderstorm that's just outside of our viewing area that's spinning up into LaPorte County. So we're going to watch that one. There you see the area spin. Let me highlight it for you, everybody. But right in here, that's where we have spin, and that's prompted a tornado warning, again, for areas outside of our viewing area. This is going to be for, let me see if I can get the full message here for you so you'll know exactly which counties are included. But this is going to be for Pulaski and Stark County here in Indiana. And it's this thunderstorm, if we put this into motion, we'll do like a 30-minute loop. It's moving less northeast and kind of more east-northeast. So it is possible that that little spin could spin up into southern section of LaPorte County. Before I toss it to Mary Kay, let me just look at one thing here, and we're going to loop this. We'll do some analysis together. Yeah, so it's something we'll keep an eye on. Not imminent danger to southern LaPorte County, but I want to watch it. And Mary Kay's been watching the radar with us all afternoon. Mary Kay, what are you seeing on your end?
Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit of a recap here with our last warning in northwest Indiana that you're talking about. So I have a fresh storm track on the whole line, and that does include that tornado warning that is just south of our viewing area, moving through Knox. So the individual cells are racing northeast at 55 miles per hour. So New Durham first, then Michigan City, and then heading through Knox. So these areas, if your town is on this list, you do want to take cover in the lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible, just because this has the chance for some rotation. It's our last severe thunderstorm warning that we're looking at right now. But to uncover that tornado warning that is just to the south now of LaPorte County, that one is moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. And it may be moving into a little more of a rural area south of LaPorte, but still Knox is a place where you do want to take cover, just because we have that threat for rotation. It is radar indicated rotation. We don't have any information from storm spotters with this one. It is more so that is radar indicated. So to recap, here's what we have left. It's all for northwest Indiana. As Albert just mentioned, the tornado watch is gone on the Illinois side. So thank goodness for that. And the Indiana side still holding on to the tornado watch, because all of those shaded areas in orange, those are multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. So we do have some very strong winds associated with this line that is pulling now from Chesterton to Burns Harbor, down to Hanna, Dewey, and North Judson. So I wanted to give you a good look at this here in northwest Indiana for all our friends there. Valparaiso, finally, the worst is east of you, but boy, anybody making that trip around the rim of the lake is going to be dealing with winds to hurricane force. Albert, I did get some new information on some storm reports that came in. Hurricane force winds reported in many neighborhoods. Valparaiso was the top wind gust so far, 81 miles per hour. So I'm sure our news desk will be checking in with the Valparaiso area for damage there. Lake of the Four Seasons, also in northwest Indiana, winds to 75 miles per hour. In Gary, winds to 74. In Cook County, Linwood, that's another spot to check for damage. Winds to 74 miles per hour. And Remington, 71 miles per hour in Jasper County. So those storm reports are going to continue coming in as storms race over the lake now, pulling away from Illinois. Thank goodness for that, but we have to watch those areas to the south of the Kankakee River Valley. That's where we had these heavy rains and also those dramatic winds pulling into northwest Indiana. You can see all the lightning now showing up on our detection network. A lot of winds that are still gusty, pulling temperatures. Notice where the warm air is. That's where the severe weather is. Valparaiso, LaPorte, Michigan City, South Bend. We're cooling on the Illinois side. That's why the tornado watch is over. Waukegan, you've been in the 40s all day. We were in the middle and upper 70s in Morris and Joliet and Kankakee. Temperatures are falling fast as we see that drier air work in. Dew point temperatures, we don't always show this, but they were so impressive today, soaring into the upper 60s. They're still holding at 63 in LaPorte, 60-degree dew point temperatures South Bend. That's telling us there's enough instability there to spark and intensify some of those storms as they race to southwest lower Michigan. But on the Illinois side, drier air coming into DeKalb County, a 50-degree dew point temperature in McHenry. Here's the wide view. Tornado watch still in effect for northwest Indiana. I'm thinking soon they will peel off Lake County and probably Newton and Jasper as well, as the bulk of the severe weather is now moving out of Porter County into LaPorte County and into southwest lower Michigan. So here's a look at that tornado watch in effect here for a couple of more hours as storms are most intense now into the LaPorte area. So a lot of lightning showing up around there too. If we zoom in close to the lakefront there, from Ogden Dunes to Westchester to Michigan City, Beverly Shores, anybody trying to make travel along the highways there or high-profile vehicles will have a hard time with this just because the winds have been gusting to hurricane force. So you see this arc also in the radar returns right here. It's like that comma shape. That's just telling us that we have huge winds along this squall line. It is pulling away from you in Valparaiso. I think the worst is done for you, but after 81-mile-per-hour wind gusts, there probably is damage to clean up there. And our last tornado warning is right here near Knox. That's where we are getting reports of some rotation. It's going to be hard to see on our velocity signature just because it is so far away from the Chicago radar, so we try to pick up a neighboring one out of northwest Indiana. But that is our last warning for tornado-warned storms. The last sweep there showing big winds. So big winds for you now in Knox. That's a spot probably with the strongest cell. And then Hannah, you are starting to see conditions improve as well. And then as we widen out here, you can see how the Chicago side really starting to break down to just scattered showers. And that's good news because we're starting to see that intrusion of the colder air move into the picture and the drier air as well. So Albert, what's going to be crazy is overnight we're going to be looking at snow flurries through southern Wisconsin, and those will probably clip at least Lake and McHenry County, if not the city, because it'll be chilly on the other side of this for tomorrow.
You know, I'm okay with that though, because that just means stable air, cooler air is moving in. We'll be done with a severe weather risk. Mary Kay, thank you, and we'll keep an eye on those Doppler radar images, mainly in northwest Indiana. Here's a look at the wide view, and we're going to stay on for about the next 10 minutes. I want to get this thunderstorm in LaPorte County to move out of the viewing area, and then we're going to call it the all clear almost everywhere. But we are in the clear in northeastern Illinois. No tornado watch anymore for Illinois, including Chicago. We're done. We got some rain. There's some thunder offshore. It's soggy out there, and we'll have some passing areas of mainly light rain for about the next hour or so. And that severe weather threat you see, it's mainly here in Indiana now. And what's driving all of this is a spin in the atmosphere. This is an upper level low that will be moving off towards the east. On the back side of it, colder air. That's why we'll only be in the and at least a threat, at least a chance, I should say, of some rain mixed in with snowflakes in the overnight. So let's zoom in and we'll take you through the forecast. We have a new 7-day to show you. We have a new weather alert posted for Wednesday. We're going to kind of do a full weathercast here for you as we continue to watch this particular thunderstorm. So some passing areas of rain across Chicago right now, a little bit of light to moderate rainfall. Chicago Heights, Peatone, and then out here towards the west, some passing areas of light rain into Cobb County. But if you're in Illinois, if you're in Chicago, we're done with the severe weather. That's now moved offshore. Cooler air is moving on in. It's this thunderstorm, as Mary Kay was talking about. This is still the problem right now. This is that severe thunderstorm that continues to work through LaPorte County, Michigan City. It's on your doorstep right now. There's an area of spin down here outside of our viewing area, as Mary Kay said, near Knox. While we're here, let's take a look at the velocity scan, because that's something we're going to keep an eye on for at least a potential for a spin-up tornado here in LaPorte County about over the next 15 minutes. There's a little area of spin here. We'll look at that in a second. There's some really, really intense winds coming in out of the south that are spreading into LaPorte County right now. But let's just, while we're here, we'll take a closer look at what's happening up here towards Michigan City. I mean, it's broad. It's not that tight at all. We'll look at what the radar looks like. That should be concerning. Yeah, so kind of right in here, right around Michigan City. Let's watch this for some broad areas of rotation with this thunderstorm, and we'll kind of broaden out the view for you. But if you are in northern sections of LaPorte County in particular, let's just watch this thunderstorm, because we know that the atmosphere is conducive for spin-up tornadoes. And as Mary Kay said, there are those reports of actually ground reports of some of these thunderstorms reporting 60, 65, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And this is where we have the most intense thunderstorm right now. And we'll loop this for you just so we can kind of see the progression of it. Yeah, so this thunderstorm that we're watching for some broad spin, this is going to be out over Lake Michigan. Give it 7 minutes, right? Because it's a fast mover. And 7 minutes is just giving us some cushion there. And just one more look at velocity scan. All right, so it's kind of flattened out. So I'm not too concerned about that one. And while we're looking at velocity, we'll kind of scoot down into the rest of Porter County. We're good. Okay. So that makes me happy. We're just going to keep an eye on that, but we're A-OK right now. Let's get into the forecast for you. 66 right now at O'Hare. We have a lake influence, Waukegan right now at 44, 64 in Gary, and 65 in Joliet. It's 58 right now in Ottawa. So where you see the 50s and 60s, this is where we have that stable, cool air. A-OK here in Chicago and northeastern Illinois. But where you see the 70s, that's where we have to watch out for some severe weather, in particular LaPorte County, right? 70 LaPorte, 72 Michigan City. At 72 Michigan City, though, coming down as we speak, as that rain is moving on in. And that's why that tornado threat continues, mainly in LaPorte County. At least we're watching that. Hour by hour forecast, we've been talking about this. Beyond 5 o'clock, it's done everywhere. We may have some lingering areas of sprinkles about, but watch these temperatures by this evening drop into the 40s. So here comes that colder air mass coming on in, some 30s in the overnight. Up here towards the North Shore could get close to freezing, so there's at least a chance of some rain mixed in with snowflakes in the overnight. But we're going to go for mainly dry skies at 7 a.m., driving winds out of the northwest, and temperatures near freezing. So a chilly way to kick off your Monday, and we only make it into the 40s as we head in the afternoon with some late day clearing. Lots of clouds first half of the day, some clearing, more of a partly cloudy sky in the afternoon. And with winds off Lake Michigan, look at this, temperatures in the 30s tomorrow at 5 o'clock. For areas near the lake, 37 Michigan City, 39 in the Loop. 3-day forecast. Tuesday, we get a break from the crazy weather. It's a chilly day at 45. Let me show you highs. Low 40s North Shore, some 50s down here to the south of I-80. But a new weather alert is posted for Wednesday. Wednesday's severe weather threat looks to be even more significant than what we just had. Okay, so Wednesday is already posted with a severe weather threat with temperatures in the ballpark of what we had this afternoon, upper 60s to near 70, winds coming out of the south strong, new system coming in out of the west. And the Storm Prediction Center, these are the severe weather experts in Norman, Oklahoma, have already highlighted Wednesday under the threat of severe weather. See this little orange shaded area? This is an enhanced risk already. This is rare for us to see this 4 days out, okay? So that's why we're putting a red flag up for you for Wednesday. If you have some plans Wednesday, we'll have exact timeline and all that kind of stuff worked out. But Wednesday with daytime heating, we got to watch out for severe weather risk, which is on the increase. So leftover showers moving out this evening, low temperature 35 in the overnight. Lots of clouds for tomorrow, especially for the first half of the day, and then we'll have some breaks in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. North wind 10 to 15 miles per hour, the high temperature for your Monday at 42 degrees. And a brand new 7-day forecast courtesy of Mary Kay Kleiss at 45 degrees on Tuesday. There's the weather threat on Wednesday, a 90% chance of thunderstorms Wednesday, weather alert for severe weather threat, which could be significant. So we want to watch that closely. And on the backside of the system, some cooler air at 59 on Thursday. The Cubs home opener at Friday, this is an early afternoon opener at Wrigley Field at 52, but it'll be probably cooler at Wrigley with the wind off the lake, and then we'll have some shower opportunities Friday night into Saturday. So getting word that we still have a ground stop at O'Hare until 3:45, so next 20 minutes. And the Sox at Wright Field is still under a rain delay. They're going to wait for that lightning to move offshore. There's a look at the 10-day temperature trend. This is why we have to watch Wednesday. It's sticking out like a sore thumb. It's just that time of the year. Anytime we get temperatures 60s, close to 70, you get a strong system coming in out of the west or northwest, it could be all the ingredients coming together for at least the threat of severe weather. Right now, no active tornado warnings in our area. And actually, the only warning we have right now is for LaPorte County. And then once this moves out of here, we're going to be in the all clear. If you are in southern and central sections of Lake County in Indiana, some thunder and lightning, some moderate at times, maybe some heavier downpours right along the county line with Newton and Lake County. But we're A-OK there. A little bit of moderate showers developing over Lake County, but nothing severe. Here's the action that went through Chicago, producing those gusty winds and cloudy ground lightning. But we'll come in here a little bit closer, and I'm just going to hang with you a little bit longer here on the stream. I just want this to move out of here, and then we're done. But this thunderstorm, we'll put this into live mode right here, is the only one that I'm kind of concerned about. We still have temperatures. It's cooling now with rain-cooled air, but we've had temperatures out ahead of this thunderstorm in the low 70s today. And you can see near Kankakee, this is Kankakee, Indiana, not Illinois, Kankakee, Indiana. You can see these little appendages here and there. Those are the little areas that we want to watch. And then we'll look at this. Yeah, you know, there's some areas of spin in this thunderstorm action. Nothing that is really screaming a tornado warning's coming, nothing like that. But we want to watch it. Like this little area spin. I mean, it's not that big of a deal near Hamlet, but we want to watch it as this continues to move so quickly off towards the east-northeast at 55, if not 60 miles per hour. So I'm going to do a big view here, and I'll loop this for you. And I'm going to go take a look at the Weather Center, see if we have an update on that particular thunderstorm on its forward speed. And we'll do a new storm track for you in just a minute. But gosh, the winds with this thunderstorm that moved through Illinois and now northwest Indiana, just incredible amount of wind. And there was just enough veering of wind, the turning of wind with height, that prompted at least that one tornado warning in northern sections of Newton County and southern sections of Lake County in northwest Indiana, but no tornado warnings right now. So let me just get the latest statistics on this, and we'll do a storm track, a new storm track for you on this one as well, with that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until the top of the hour, so another 33 minutes. And we've got this thunderstorm. They're still saying, Weather Service is still saying, capable of producing 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel-sized hail, and they have this one moving to the northeast at 65 miles per hour. So we'll do a new storm track for it, and this, again, is going to be moving out of our viewing area probably within the next 7 minutes. So heads up, Nancy and Blake, we're probably going to end this, let's plan on ending around 3:35, because then we're going to be in good shape, which we love to hear. So let's do a new storm track. We'll bring up this with a forward speed anywhere from 60 to even 65 miles per hour. A fast-moving thunderstorm for sure. And we'll show you right around Michigan City and moving into southwestern Michigan. So by the time it gets into Three Oaks at 3:32, the edge of that thunderstorm will be in southwestern Michigan and Olive in northern Indiana, outside of our viewing area, at 4:36, and that's going to be 4:36 Eastern time, so 3:36 here local time. So yeah, let's take this to 3:35, and then we'll send this back to regular programming, and we'll let Mary Kay prep for the 5:30 newscast that's coming on in, and we'll do a broad view here to show you that the severe weather risk is ending as these temperatures are cooling right now. Okay, so just texting the newsroom that we're almost in the clear. So let's do a reset. I'll show you the forecast again, just if you're just now joining us on this Sunday at 3:28 on CBS News Chicago. We are in good shape. The tornado watch that was issued a little bit earlier on, that included Chicago and much of northeastern Illinois, that has been dropped. It's still a mess right now in Indiana. And, you know, I'm worried about our friends in Indianapolis, where March Madness is ongoing right now. They have a line of severe thunderstorms that will be moving across that part of Indiana soon. And you see this thunderstorm action racing towards Fort Wayne. They have active tornado watch right now for central and at least the southwestern corner of Michigan. But all the yellow you see here, that's a tornado watch, which is going to get trimmed out of our area soon. And then all of the orange boxes, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. And this red box just south of our viewing area, that is a tornado warning in effect. And it's all because of this aggressive area of low pressure spinning in Iowa. And as that moves back off towards the east, the winds will shift. They'll be more westerly, and eventually on the northwestern side of the backside of that low, they'll pull in some areas of cold weather. We'll be in the 30s tonight. We'll be in the 40s tomorrow. And some lingering moisture may allow for at least a few snowflakes as we head into early tomorrow morning, but no accumulation is in the forecast. So we're watching that severe thunderstorm. Let's do a little radar tour here, and we'll zoom in and show you what we have. So if you're in Lake County at the moment, we just have some areas of showers. I don't have any lightning for you. We can even turn on our lightning data just to make sure. Yeah, so it's just some moderate rain, not too far from Mundelein, passing I-94. No severe weather threat for you. That's good news. Let's work our way southward into northern areas of Cook County, Glencoe to Evanston to Wilmette to Winnetka. Some areas of light rain, but that's about it. Just around, it looks like south of Jefferson Park, this little shower that will be headed into Logan Square soon. A little moderate shower, but again, no severe weather. We still have a ground stop, though, for the next few minutes at O'Hare. So, gosh, you feel for people maybe coming home for spring break or arriving on spring break, having to deal with that. And then some areas of moderate rain and even some thunder and lightning, but non-severe around Chicago Heights in southern sections of Cook County. And then a little bit steadier rain with some thunder and lightning at times along I-65 here in Lake County in Indiana. So all these areas that we're talking about, all of northeastern Illinois, as you get into Lake County, Indiana, as you get into Porter County, as you get into Jasper, Newton County, severe weather threat is over. The only reason why we're on right now is for this thunderstorm, which is beginning to nose its way out of the viewing area here in LaPorte County right now. There's Michigan City, there's Kankakee, Indiana. This thunderstorm moving on out. Maybe we'll take a look at velocity, but maybe a little area spin there, about to move out of the viewing area. No, not even that. So we'll hang with you for our next few minutes, and then we're going to send you back to programming and get ready for the 5:30 newscast with Mary Kay, as that thunderstorm is about to spin on out. Still some gusty winds, still some thunder and lightning. The reason why we are a lot less concerned now with the severe weather threat is the stable, cool air has moved in to Illinois. We've got temperatures now falling to 56 Rochelle, 58 in Ottawa. It's 59 DeKalb. We're looking still at 60s as of the last observation over here at 66, but I'm sure that temperature is cooling now. And with a lake influence, notice the temperatures have dropped into the 40s in Waukegan. It's 64 in Gary. Wow, look at that, 55 now. Rain-cooled air in Rensselaer, and it's this pocket of 70s. As of the last observation, that was 30 minutes ago. These temperatures certainly have fallen since then, but this is that area that we're still just watching for the next literally 3 minutes before that moves on out. So by 5 o'clock, we are quiet. We have some areas of sprinkles. That's about it. By 10 o'clock, we've got temperatures that are falling into the 40s. After midnight, we have temperatures falling into the 30s, at least a chance for some of this moisture to be mixed in with some snowflakes. 3, 4, 5 a.m. maybe. 7 a.m. we're going mainly dry, and temperatures hovering just above freezing with gusty winds out of the northwest. We'll be on the back side of this upper level low later on tonight into tomorrow morning and all day tomorrow, with some late day pockets of clearing possible, and a cooler day with temperatures in the 40s, 50s though, down in the south suburbs. Tuesday at 45. Wednesday, again, that's a day that we're going to have to watch closely. Early indications that Wednesday could come in with a little bit more significant severe weather risk as we cross over into April, first week of April. Temperatures once again will rebound on the hills of strong southerly winds, gusting upwards of 30 miles per hour. So we're talking about near 70-degree weather again by Wednesday. You mix that in with an upper level low coming out of the west, and the ingredients are in place for severe weather risk. It's really that time of the year where, like today, we were in the 70s, even near 80 down on the south side of Chicago. It feels nice. It feels like spring's finally here, but then you get thunderstorms develop because you have a good amount of ignition, a good amount of upward motion in the atmosphere. So Wednesday is already highlighted for our next severe weather risk. All clear for Chicago, remainder of the night. All day tomorrow, all day Tuesday, but Wednesday we have to be weather aware. I think even more so than we were today for the threat of severe weather. Early indications show all modes of severe weather will be possible on Wednesday. Damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. And the Weather Service, rare for our neck of the woods, has highlighted it's already under an enhanced risk from just the south side of Chicago into northwest Indiana, south suburbs, southwestern suburbs for Wednesday. And tomorrow morning with Laura and Ed, we'll have a new map that they'll actually do in that 3 out of 5, 2 out of 5. That's mainly where we're going to be when it comes to the risk area for tomorrow. So a few leftover showers, 35 degrees for tonight. And then for tomorrow, lots of clouds in the morning, more of a partly cloudy sky in the afternoon. It's breezy and 42. And I'll leave you with this, the 7-day forecast before we head you back to the normal stream. We've got temperatures in the 40s next 2 days, upper 60s and near 70 on Wednesday with that building severe weather threat on Wednesday. On the backside of it, some cooler air Thursday. We've got the Cubs home opener, 52 for the high, but probably a first pitch in the upper 40s at Wrigley Field on Friday with that lake influence. And then another system comes in Friday night and Saturday. I want to keep an eye on that one for the chance of severe weather. Right now, we'll keep it out of the forecast, but some scattered showers in 55 on Saturday. So as we come up to 3:35 here on CBS News Chicago, the severe weather threat has come to an end in Illinois. The severe weather threat has come to an end in Chicago, and the thunderstorm that has prompted some issues in LaPorte County, Northwest Indiana, beginning to pull out, and we expect those tornado watches in places like Northwest Indiana to end shortly. We'll come back here on the stream if anything were to change. Hope you have a good rest of your Sunday.